Hi and welcome to Down the Shed. In this episode I shall be making a MK112 Velleman brain game. So let's just open this up. This isn't the first time I've opened this because I've actually got the instructions for it here. So in these smaller plastic package ones you do get a decent build instructions like you do on the inlaid card on the other ones. So, bag of parts. Won't need a component tester because Velleman will kindly tell me what the values are. Now I will be doing one of my favourite things and swapping out the LEDs. Nothing personal, Velleman, but so this shouldn't take too long at all. However, courtesy of Amazon, I do like these ultra bright LEDs. So we've got yellow, white, blue, green and red. I think it was about 90 of each, so let's just grab one of each at random. Yellow, red, blue and green. I have no idea how these are going to have effect these are going to have. The yellow's normally quite dim when you use them in projects like this, but half the fun of learning is experimenting, so let's experiment together. We've got a Zener diode, a bunch of resistors. I'm guessing that's some form of capacitor, a transistor, 4 buttons, a piezo speaker and a little tiny chip, which is, my god, I can hardly read it. It's a 12F508, but just for the camera, he says, trying to find the camera. That's the chip anyway. So let's crack on. Put the parts, oh there's the other tweezers. Put the parts to one side. Let's get this in. And I don't know whose brand this PCB holder is. 3AA battery holder and one circuit board. But it is a cracking little bit of kit. My helping hands would actually do as well as a good job as this. So we'll start off by, shall I go with the top? The only problem with these is the board doesn't, I'm doing everything upside down so you can see it the right way up. Right, so anyway, R1 to R4 is a yellow, purple, brown. Yellow, purple, brown, gold, so that'll be these. These are really thick leads on these. They're much better than the Chinese crap you can get off Amazon. So R1 to R4, these are 470. Well, I'm going to guess they have something to do with the LEDs because each one is strategically next to a switch which has an LED next to it. So I'm guessing they're the resistors for the LEDs. There's 4 and there's 4 LEDs. Makes sense, right? Let's blue tack these in situ. Spin her over. Right, I think we'll use the 1mm. Right, let's bung some solder on. Yeah, I'm going to have to have this light on, I'm sorry. I need to sort out some lighting in here. I've got LED strip. Bring the iron in, heat up the pad and the lead. I think I need a bigger solder tip actually. Right, what I've done is I've put a dab of flux on each of the poles just to help the solder flow a bit better. Yeah, I really need to put a bigger bit on here. There we have that. So snips, get rid of these leads. Now, as it's really difficult to get hold of isopropanol alcohol at the moment, I'm using acetone based nail varnish remover for the flux cleanup. I did have acetone free thinking that would be better, but I was wrong. So there we have, oh, they could probably do with that. No, they're fine. Oh, that one could go in a bit further. Right, next. Right, these are yellow, purple, red. They're 4K7 R5. That's going to hold itself in, I think. Yeah. That's R5. Squeeze them across a little bit. There we go. Bit of a gap between them. Let's get R6. Which was here. I like to try and get all the colours the same way. Just looks like a little bit more effort went into it. There we go, flow that in. Flow that in. Job's a good one. And so the final one, R7, is another, so we've got a 470, a 4K7 and now a 47 ohm, yellow, purple, black, which should be the only one left. Yellow, purple, black, all got the gold multiplier. So give yourself a good 3, 4, 5 mil on the end of these leads because they're not tight. There's plenty of space. R7, right, let's get the gold the right way. All the golds are going to the bottom of the board. Let's get some solder on. There we go. Didn't want to take the first time. And there we go. So that's all the resistors. R1, 2, 3 and 4, not in that particular order. 5, 6 and 7. So that's all the resistors in. Next is the diode. Always watch the polarity on your diodes. The little black band goes on the thick line on the board. Get this wrong and it's not going to work properly. Help that in a bit. There we go. So let's get that pinned. So there we have our little Zener diode. Now we have what I believe is the Schottky diode. Again, grey band on the end. As I said, there's a lot of generosity in the leads on these. This one in particular. I mean, look at that one. I'm just going to solder this one in at that angle at the moment, stop it falling. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the 4 switches. Okay, onto the switches. Now what I'm going to do is record one and then pop the others in. So I'll record putting this one on. I might just put a blob of flux on each one of those. Did you see that solder just flow in there on the flux? Like that. Right, so I'll do the other 3. Okay, so now we're going to put in the chip holder. Remember to get the notch the same way it is in the picture. So there's a little semicircle like a goal at that end. There's a notch at this end of the circuit board holder, the chip holder rather. So I'll pop that in the circuit board. Pop blue tacky. And solder these pins in. There's quite a decent amount of flux flowing in this. Scrubby tip. Right, so next we're looking at the capacitor. This is a 105 or a 1UF. Could have put these. How long they've stuck that in there? We'll leave that. There's like a couple of kinks in the end, but I'm going to leave them. There's one. Get a blue solder around here. There's 2. Daisy May, you can hear barking in the background possibly. Right, so LEDs, transistor and speaker. So these are just getting pulled out at random. I don't know what order I stuck these in. So I don't know where the red, yellow, green or blue are going to end up. And just to make it completely random, remember the long leg's the positive, the short leg's the negative, the flat side is the short leg. So I'm going to do 2 at a time. Or actually, well, oh, I don't know. That's quite nicely sat. That's quite nicely sat. Okay. Short legs are towards me. Yep. Just double checking. It's a pain in the backside when you have to desolder and turn or change an LED. Right, that's 2 in. Now the other 2 at random. So short leg on the flat side. Short leg on the flat side. Let's plug some solder on, or solder as our American friends like to call it. So how are we all getting on with lockdown and the shops opening? Sadly, it hasn't changed my life at all, lockdown. I go to work, I go to my horses, I come home. Not that many shops that bother me. As long as you've got Amazon and eBay, who cares? And I hate Amazon, I hate eBay. But there's such... Amazon is just such a good service. Right, so we have the transistor next. This is still in order, by the way, to the manufacturer's specifications. So the middle lead wants to, I do love it when they put them in like a little triangle tripod way. So again, the transistor is shaped, it's got a dome side and a flat side. It's pretty obvious on the board what goes where. Keep the shapes the same and you can't go wrong. Let's just, yeah, that'll be fine. I'll pop some solder on this one. And then level it out a bit. That'll do. Right, one loudspeaker. This does have, to be honest, I don't think it makes a lot of difference, but it does have polarity on it. So this pin's the plus. Again, the longer one, the longest lead's always a plus, shortest lead's always negative. We'll let it stay in. Will it heck? See if we can, there's no solder on that. See if I get a blob off here onto that. Just to hold it. That'll do. Right, we'll get this leg on. We'll resolder this one in. Job's a good one. Proper job. At risk of sounding like a Cornish scrapyard challenge team. Right, so battery pack and then the IC. So we might have this out of the board for this. Let's have a look at the battery pack. So this actually mounts straight onto the board and then solder your terminals onto here. So what I might do is cut these shorter and solder them straight in as that. So I think I'll cut that about there and cut this one about there. Little wire stripper gun, cheapy Halford's jobby, £5. But it does the job. Pack of 4 pound shop electrician's screwdrivers. Can't grumble at that. 25p each. So yeah, you only need to tighten those up by hand, they're not going nowhere. So let's get some batteries. Pound shop specials. No affiliation to the pound shop. Let's plug the last one in and see what happens. Well, nothing as of yet. So we haven't put an IC in either. Good at doing that, ain't I? Let's take one of the batteries out so we've got no circuit. Right, as I've said before, legs are normally well out on these chips. The best way to do it is to get them flat like that and just gently prise them back into shape. Well, I wouldn't do it on a rubber mat like that. These smaller ones you can just give them a bit of a squeeze. So, notch to the top. On the chip there's a little dot and a notch, so that goes to the top with the notches. I want a chip setter like Big Clive's got. Okay, so let's put that battery back in. And still we have nothing, so start. Should be 2 symbols, music on, music off. There we go, it's started now. That yellow one ain't too bad actually. Right, just a quick update. We now have our Velleman brain game. Now to start this off, I've figured it out since last night. You either want to press level 1 or level 2 depending on whether you want sound or not. So we'll go with level 1 and sound. You now get the 4 LEDs flashing in a circle. This is asking you for what level you want. So we'll go level 1 and there we go. So we're now off. Level 1's only like 6 or 7 goes. Level 4, I don't know if it actually ends. I haven't got to the end. And when we finish, we'll get a little celebration. There we go. It's our little celebration. So it's now asking for another game. If you just leave it like this, it'll go for about 30 seconds and then it will die out. So yeah, if you want it without sound, press level 2 and then press the level you want and you get it without sound. So we'll get our very simple 5 goes. 4 greens. Oh, and a yellow. And now there's a celebration again. Now if you do, there you go, no sound. If you do get one wrong, it will still give you the sound. There we go. It's told me the one I pressed is wrong, which one was correct. And we've gone back to selection. It will go into standby mode, like I say, in about 30 seconds. So probably one of the most pleasing kits I've made so far. It's not just flashing lights or makes a noise, it's actually something that you can interact with and show your friends. So thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.